Okay, everybody, this is a meeting of the park board. All members are in attendance and our members of the community presence as well. This meeting is now called to order. If we could all have a moment of silence together. All right, and a review and adoption of the minutes. May I have a motion from the floor to adopt the minutes?
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes.
That's Eli in a second,
Yes.
and that's Casey. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It passes. Okay, we've got a member from Heritage Day, John Hunt, who would like to present an update on pathways toward achieving an amphitheater in Wabache Park. To kind of set the stage here, the park board, for the most part, uses its budget to maintain the various facilities and to provide services. And so we have to think how we can reach into grant opportunities and in order to add additional services and additional facilities to the parks. So as it turns out, sometimes we have very specific projects that we're looking for that we've identified because of our surveys with the public. And sometimes we have people that approach us from the community says, I've got a hot lead on something that could happen that I think is going to be very good for the parks or the community. In this case, it's John that's approached us about hot leads on an amphitheater. And just lately, he, as part of the Heritage Foundation, put quite a bit of effort, and we loaned Eli to help a little on that, quite a bit of effort into a grant that made it to the top 12 in the state, but then didn't make it past that. So as is often the heartbreaking case with a grant, is you put in enormous time and it gets almost there. But John is here to tell us more about his vision of something that the park board is supporting that he look into. And then at some point in the future, the park board would make a decision as to, yeah, let's go with it. All right. All right. So John, if you'd like to come and you can present to the board how you see this project.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, it's been a hot item for quite a few years and we're getting closer. Okay, yeah, as Jerry said, yeah, it was heartbreaking, but hey, it just builds character and when you get turned down and you learn a few things. And so you just keep going. This took a few twists, but it was, I said we weren't going to stop. So I was ready to, I talked with Kim Eaton from the Community Foundation, and she was like, go ahead and, put in a letter of intent for a legacy grant. And I had a grant also that would have been for 50. Okay. Give you to set the stage. And then I was going to apply for a Thriving Communities grants through the railroad here. Okay. That came up. But now bear with me. I scratched those because we came up with something a little better. Okay. But those could come up again. Basically, I had talked, and Mr. Scott Greger, who's not here, I actually got to thinking after we were turned down for this $350,000 grant for the big amphitheater. I got to thinking, I saw where he was talking and saying, we could turn that pavilion down there into one. Talking with the president here, Jerry, and I said, what do you think? And we said, yeah, it's not a bad, we could do that.
That's why it's there.
So anyway, I just want to inform everybody that I changed our mind on that after I talked with Mr. Eric Swank from the city. We were talking about that, and he said, that would be in your best interest if you were going to do that. He said, I would say start over from scratch because that's not a bad pavilion, but it's going to be a new roof. It's not really structurally sound for what you're looking at. So it just so happens, you all know me, most of you do. I went and I started researching some things and I came up with something better. Okay. And I think it's very obtainable. Probably, I don't want to set a date, but I think by this winter or early spring, we can really have something. I found several companies and I found one I really like that now hear me out. They make these kind of kits. They're like a prefab. Okay. And instead of $200, $300, $400,000 and up. I'm thinking we're probably going to be somewhere in the range of $50,000 to $70,000. Okay, and I'm waiting for the exact quotes. These people are like everybody in the country, across the country. They're shorthanded, got a lot of business, so they're drawing up a proposal. And I want to pass this around. This is the structure, so you can take a look at that if you'd like. That is
just a clarification.
yes.
Is that 70,000 for the kit?
Yeah, and like I said,
And
yes.
there's more money for
Well, there would
installation.
be for whatever concrete we wanted to do. You know, depending on how high of a.
And then you'd have to have people building it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's a bigger picture there.
there is. And like I said, I'm just throwing out a number from my research that I looked at, but the actual quote should be here. I tried to push them and said, I need this by today, but they just couldn't get it done. So in lieu of hundreds of thousands of dollars, we might want to think about going with that route. And then I could get on the ball once we get the quotes on there and start getting with Smart Landscaping, other places to see what kind of, that would be a 45-foot structure, by the way. Okay. So then we'd have to look at concrete and things. So my educated guess and research is looking somewhere, you know, probably $100,000 or maybe a little over, time the whole total project's completed. So if we would go that route, which I'm hoping so, then we could leave the little pavilion, you know, and you guys as a park board could fix it up as you see choose or whatever. But the vision would be great to just keep that and have a nice entryway exit, you know, in and out of the park or for the facilities as there's events that come to this amphitheater. Yeah. And so that's basically it. I'm just at the mercy right now, waiting to get the quote on that kit. And then we get with contractors or someone, see. I do know some, maybe we could find some of the goodness of their heart for community service would help volunteer some time if we went that route to help construct that. And it goes without saying, Attica Heritage Incorporated would not have a problem volunteering, you know, once we did this and help maintain that facility. Because I'm sure that would have to be stained every few years and there'd be some maintenance on it, but we could assume some responsibilities for that.
You were saying you were thinking about some other funding options.
Yes, and I was going to get to that. Yes, that is. Like I said, I've put some of these grants on hold since in light of these new projects came down. I will be talking with Kim some more because, like I said, there will be yeah, there she is. There will be a legacy. The legacy grants do come up with the foundation every so often. And I know the letter of intent needs to be done by August 15th for this one. I'm going to sit back on that and wait for a minute because that's coming up quick. And I want to make sure that I've got time to have the company, Fifth Room Company, give me those quotes for this kit. And then that'll give me time, on top of everything else with Heritage coming up in a little over a month, it would give me time to look at the contractors and some concrete work and things so I could get a pretty close ballpark figure of what the full cost would be. And then I could look at a legacy grant. I could look at SIA Foundation, maybe, you know, and put out there, it's sometimes, you know, it's time to maybe kind of put out there to the community too, and maybe do a little crowdfunding, you know, as an option. But I really think with 99% certainty that this project could happen. Like I said, it's just been a project for 5-6 years since COVID, trying to figure out a way to do this amphitheater. But I think we've got it. So as far as in closing, yeah, that's the long and the short of it. The funding would come through some grants. Man, I don't want to promise anything. Like I said, we'll work on this in the late fall and the winter when we get all the estimates out here.
I might have missed this, but did you say like exactly where it was going to be?
No, I had not mentioned that yet. We would like to have that, you know, where you got your little pavilion now and you got your restrooms on the other end, going down towards the sewer plant.
Okay.
There's a nice area there that would fit that 45-foot structure. And you could amplify all your programming out. You know, if you're on the stage, you'd be looking out towards the river. Plenty of areas there where in the future we could actually put some stone walling or something up and seats if we wanted, you know, or something, but keep it rustic. So is that answering? Yeah. So feel that's few people had suggested up there by that playground and stuff, and very point well taken. But I don't want to do that because I know the park board has some other things they'd like to do there. Plus, it's a good place for parking. And I just didn't think it was very eye pleasing to have a performing arts center or an amphitheater up there anyway. Too many wires and things. So okay.
Any other questions? Okay then, thanks a lot, John.
All right.
for-
Thank you.
And thanks for looking into that pavilion as an option too.
Oh yeah, no problem. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of updates and we have a lot of motions, a lot of business to do today. So I'm going to, you all have in front of you those updates, but for the benefit of the public, I'll go ahead and read those updates. So play sets from the old elementary are now installed and the painting of those sets and surrounding equipment is underway. Plastic timbers have been installed in all parks except McDonald Park. And safety mulch will be installed throughout the park system in approximately 3 to 4 weeks, by which time it's expected that all the painting will be complete. The storage shed is in place in Ravine Park. Levi Mitchell has volunteered to install shelving after we purchase the supplies. He also plans to install a lockbox with push-button code access so that a key can be stored and accessed for use by park and pickleball. That'll be a shared space for those two, the park program, summer program, and the pickleball. Several tree stumps were removed from Ravine Park and thereby removed the risk these scraggy stumps pose. 2 more large stumps will be removed by city maintenance in the coming weeks and months. Fill dirt was distributed to various parts of Ravine Park, including the west foundation of the big pavilion. A proposal for signage to connect trails beginning in Arms Woods all the way to the riverfront was sent to the Blue Way representatives for consideration for design, execution, and funding. The park board would install it. Blue Way just got in touch with me asking for some additional information, so this is under active consideration. The process of making improvements at Wabachi Playground that has been funded by the Community Foundation grant for $48,890 is likely to be as follows. And note, you'll remember that the $150,000 playground itself was recently installed and paid for by a city obligation bond. So this is to increase ADA and comfort for that playground. The current timeline for Wabachi Playground upgrade is concrete sidewalks, trash can pads, memorial bench pad, and a pavilion pad to be poured in mid-August. Pavilion to be constructed in September. Memorial bench, playground sign, and community foundation signs to be installed during this time as well. ADA access parking lot to be installed by the city in September, and signage and lines to be put in place by park board volunteers. Landscaping to be installed in November, and that would be the completion of that project. Vendors are currently being contacted for various supplies. We have reached out for a bid for the Ravine bathrooms, and that came in at under $13,000. There is a question of ADA compliance with using the proposed stainless steel soilet sink combo that is available to us from local sources. The advantage of that stainless steel was how durable it would be, but it was pointed out to me by the person doing the quote that he was not really clear that it would meet ADA requirements. So that's something I think needs to be looked at further. We have reached out to the vendor to correct a long crack in the big pavilion floor, and it's scheduled for August 24th with a maximum price of $3,500. That may be less. This is to increase safety, minimize trip hazards in the Ravine Pavilion. You'll remember that we had a state engineer, in fact, that was arranged for through Rec Inc., to take a look, and he believes the building to be structurally fine. We have some repairs to make, but it's good bones. So now it's just making sure that everything like the bathroom, like the floor and so on, is up to speed. We've reached out to Wild Graphics for signs for the Community Foundation grant for Wabachi Playground, the Whistler Foundation for the purchase of half acre west of Ravine Trail, and for the Ward Memorial Park. We're also asking for a bronze donation plaque quote. That just came in. that's pretty salty. So the thing to match something like what is in the ravine with the other bridges would be $1,000. So we may want to kind of think about that. All right. Eric and I evaluated Arms Woods for culvert installation. He's going to reach out to a contract with which he's dealing now, who has expertise in this area, so we can get a really good appraisal of what to buy and generally how much that project would cost. Eric is in agreement that putting culverts in there instead of bridges makes a lot of sense for the maintenance of Arms Woods. So I'm thinking it could cost us, but it's worth it. We're just going to have to figure out how to do it. Okay. Eric also generously, and this one, I really appreciate Eric. He offered the services of one city maintenance employee for a day on a once a week or at least every couple of weeks to work specifically on park projects. So as I identify, our board members identify things that we need to be done for the park, he said, we're going to give you a guy to do it.
That's huge.
Isn't that swell?
That's huge.
Eric, my man. Okay. Now, Rec Inc., whose mission is to advance community recreation opportunities, has, through the grant they received from the Purdue Extension Community Vitality Program, and by the way, they were one of 3 to get that in the state, has been offered instruction in grant writing. They have offered 1 to 2 seats at this training to the park board. I'd like to do it. I'm looking for one other person who would like to do it. So
I'm already doing that. So.
Anybody else real interested in learning how to write a grant?
I can do it.
All right, I figured you
We're
would.
looking at
Eli.
October 16th for that.
Sorry.
Looking at October 16th for that.
Yeah. Okay. So you can officially know that we too will attend that.
Sounds good.
Additionally, the Rec Inc. requests 2 board members to attend a strategic planning session. Now, what's going on with this grant? Well, Denise, why don't you tell us why you guys applied for that grant and what you're hoping to accomplish?
First of all, the Purdue Extension Community Vitality Program is not a grant itself. It is a program that walks us through how to have a stronger board, how to do grant writing, helps us with our strategic planning. They are kind of our big brother in a way to kind of walk us through all these steps to make sure that we do the steps correctly. It's just been a fantastic situation. We have a core group that meets with Purdue Extension Vitality Program about every 2 weeks to every month, one or the other, however often it's needed. Then we bring in the whole group when it's time. But right now, the core group is Mary, myself, and Taylor Arnold. But it's a fantastic program. It was offered throughout the entire state, and only 3 community programs qualified. Attica Rec Inc. was one. The Lincoln neighborhood in Lafayette was the second and the closest. And then the other one, I can't remember where they said, but it's, I think, on the eastern side of the state somewhere. So, and they work with you very intensely on moving your goals along. Now, will they be able to help us get all the way to the pool? No. But they will get us our guidance and our
Core foundation.
the foundation to get there. So
Exciting.
it's
Well,
very exciting.
I love the classes. It's awesome.
Yeah.
We learn a
For
lot.
Yeah, for sure, Rec Inc. is making a lot of very positive steps forward, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
Okay, a tree at Circle Park has lots of dead wood that could fall on people. So the Everly Tree Service has offered us a quote of $750 to remove the wood and clean up afterward. This won't happen until late August or early September. We'll make a motion on that later if it's approved by the board. Okay, the mulch project, the citywide safety mulch project is about to begin. Almost all plastic timbers are in place and most playground equipment is painted. We've held off until everything's painted. So but the point was to be sure that every playground in the city would have safety mulch installed. And so that's been a high priority. We began that last year, as you'll remember, and there's gone all the way through to where we're finally going to be able to install it. I'm figuring within the next month or so. Okay. Now, you will recall we were going to use excess budget last year. This was an excess budget that Eric and Joanne and Mayor agreed to let us access. Ordinarily, we hadn't in the past. It hadn't been a part of our budget, but it was a part of the bigger park budget. So we got close to the end of the year, and they said, sure, you can use it. This is a good use. Now, to do that, it had to be encumbered. We encumbered roughly $45,000 to move the two little playground sets. And then we were going to encumber another $67,000 to go ahead and put in the mulch. The vendor for the $67,000 backed out. So we couldn't encumber. It was too late. So in effect, that money that would have been encumbered went to what's called a cash account. And it's sitting there now. So the mayor is apprised of and supportive of the initiative to do this. The clerk treasurer would need to begin a formal process to request the city council and the state for permission to appropriate that money, to pull that money out and make it available to us this year. So we will have a motion here later where we're specifically asking Joanne to do that. Okay. Now, Joanne and I met to discuss the current budget, and I've sent to you a summary of our conversation so you have a chance to kind of look over about where things look for what's left of the budget year. All right, and that's in that attachment I gave you. All right, those are all the updates. Keeping people aware of people reaching out to the board. Mr. Scott Gregory and John Hunt both provide ideas about the amphitheater. Mayor Grant has asked the park board to present to the city council on the 10th about our support for measures to manage soil erosion prevention and to create access on the Wabash Riverbank. And I'm inviting any council member who would like to be a part of that, would like to be present during that presentation, so that anything you care to add to the presentation, you can do so. Okay, it's time for reports from committees. The first one will be programming, the Twilight Series final program from Nancy.
Oh, we got our signs up. They look really great. Thank you very much, Casey. Wild Heart Country will be here August 22nd, and that's our last one. Attica Pickleball is the vendor for that. I think so far they went pretty good. Hopefully, I think we have a little competition with this one, but with the Badlands, what I hear. They have a Christian group out there at the same night.
The same night.
Yeah, so we'll do what we can do.
Summer park program evaluation documents and other comments. Casey.
Our program's over. It went really well. We've been hearing great feedback from everyone. The rest of our thank you cards went out, and Mariah has sent to me what she has done for her overall. It's a really long document. I should have printed it for everybody, but she gives a breakdown of each counselor and attendance for each day, and the overview of each week and how activities went and how all of that jazz. Her and Grace sat down and made a very long document. So that's something that I will make sure that I get out to everybody in email for everyone to see. And I have not made the evaluation document for Mariah and Grace quite yet. But if that's something that we would like for me to send through email, and then we can invite them to the September meeting, because I think that should be a sit down and go through with them evaluation.
Yeah, okay, so I think we'll change, there's an upcoming motion, and we'll change that motion a little bit to allow just what you said.
Okay.
Okay, congratulations to a well-run program. Parks and trails, culverts. I've already mentioned kind of where we are with that, so I won't repeat myself. Landscaping upkeep at various locations. Nancy.
I've been trying to keep up with it. But I wanted to know if we could actually put a proposal in to start Adopt a Spot so that we can get other community organizations involved. Attica Pickleball would like to adopt the Ravine Park or the McDonald Park spot. We've already cleaned it up this time, and we would like to be the ones to take care of that. But I'd like to adopt a spot for down at Wabachi Park and adopt a spot for the Ravine Park for where they put the new sign, somebody to take care of that. But I think Attica Rotary would probably be interested in helping with one of those maybe too. They're pretty good about that. But I think it'd be nice to get organizations involved. I mean, I don't know what anybody thinks about
So
that.
just so I can put this in the proposal, it's Wabachi and it's Ravine
Ravine, Wabachi, and
McDonald.
McDonald Park, yes.
Okay, all right.
I don't know if there's one does anybody know if there's one down at Bowles Park? Do they just have a
Bowles
sign
doesn't,
and don't have
but,
any
Now that
landscaping there?
the wildscape down there at Wabachi Park has a little area that
Wildlife. Is it wildlife?
yeah, the wildlife.
Yeah, the one I've been taking care of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
I've
you
been-
been back there to see it?
I've been wanting. I went back there just the other day and did trimming some stuff so that
Oh,
it
yeah.
wouldn't be snapping people in the face. Could I get
Somebody
your
pulled sunflowers.
Could I get your name after the meeting if you stay for the whole meeting? Because I'd wanted to reach out and I didn't know what your name was.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thanks again for what you're doing down there. All right. Okay, let's see. Next one would be tennis courts. Nancy, you handed that out to us. You
I
wanna-
did, yeah, I
you
got
wanna talk to
two.
that?
I got 2 different estimates for us. I want a big difference in those estimates. I was pretty shocked actually at those. But the guy from Shipshewana, actually the farthest away, had the best estimate by $10,000. So
Wow.
that's a big difference. And I looked through his estimate and he's got everything on there pretty much the same as what the other guy had on there too. So, and he's very well recommended also.
So you got a winner there. Huh?
The Troyer, yeah, he's, yeah. Ideal Coatings is what they're called. So,
All right. So you're looking for you kind of lean toward ideal then.
I do. I actually emailed him back because he said something about they would have to probably stay the night here, a couple nights here because they couldn't do it all one day. So they have to stay a couple nights probably here. And so I said, and we would have to pay for that. So I texted him back and I said, is that included in the cost? He said, yeah, it was included in the cost, their night stay. So that's pretty good, I thought.
Okay. All right.
And
Did he
the
have any
Leslie
kind of-
coating is only good for 90 days or something
Okay, I
like that.
wondered, is there any, did he give a length on how long?
Yeah, I think there's 120 days on a guarantee so far. Yeah.
Okay. So we've got a little bit of space to kind of see how this fits with budget.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nancy.
Mhm.
Okay, Attica Rotary has donated $600 for 10 signs for keeping our parks and trails beautiful. It's a sign that says, when you throw this away, here's how many centuries it takes for it to dissolve. So it's really a very attractive sign and it's educational. That would be placed
Mhm.
at 10 locations, pretty much at the beginning and end of every trail and one at every park. So we have a motion in a moment to go ahead and approve that, but right now they're offering. Okay. All right, grants and collaborations. Eli, this is over to you. Plus, any update on the DNR comments regarding installations and any work on the riverbank? Okay.
Gotcha. So we got good news from Blue Way. If you guys saw the email that I forwarded to you,
So exciting.
Outstanding.
looks like they want to fully fund the dock project, the overlook, and then some minor things like signage and the dock, the stairway to the dock. As far as the DNR comments, I did email Wes a while ago. He didn't get back to me, so I sent him a follow-up this morning. So hopefully he'll get back to me soon. But once that's hashed out, we should be pretty good to go.
That was something Michelle made a real point about, right?
Because we don't want any surprises of them saying, "Oh wait, you guys can't do this," when we've already started. So that would be good.
Do you have any idea, Eli, if DNR is all go, would this contractor be able to install before Heritage Days?
That's what he said. He said he would like to see it going before Heritage Days. So
Great news. All right, so just to make sure that everyone's aware of what this is, you know, the floating dock, which we're trying to design with the old access to the dock, what is used to be the launch. That comes pretty close to the right kind of angle for ADA access. So that's good news. The Wabash overlook would be completely refurbished with this current proposal. There would be a trail, a walkway all the way to the Wabash overlook from the street so that it would be handicap accessible. There is, we will be looking into, but with no idea for sure, but we'll be looking into running a trail the length of the river front from the Wabash overlook to the Wabachi Park driveway. That one's we don't know, but investigating it. Okay. So those are all part of a big picture of pretty exciting news. Yeah. All right, and I want to thank Eli for the quick responses, how you've been going after stuff. Michelle made comment about that. Michelle's from the Warren County Community Foundation, and she's been kind of the driver of the Blue Way. She said that she felt very good about the collaboration and the quick responses and getting the extra quotes and all of that. So well done, Eli. Okay, big excitement. We got lots of motions to go with on that in just a little bit. Okay, communications. Ellen, status of trifold pamphlet and other communications that you were aware of.
Yeah, so I am still working on the layout, but I have the pamphlet made. This is just like a rough draft. I can email you guys all a copy before I post them out to the sign and at the city. And I did get your volunteer sign up sheet with a QR code ready. So I made flyers with a QR code to post around the city. So any volunteers can sign up and see what days we're working on the park. Or they can just sign up willingly if we're doing like a park cleanup of trash or landscaping. So that will be on the pamphlet. So they can just scan that. And then I kind of just talk about each of the parks. One question I did have is, do we want to include the new park down at the softball field? I know that's not our jurisdiction, but do we want to?
That's not our jurisdiction. So I don't.
I have it left out right now.
Yeah. So I think now nothing keeps us from talking to them. That, for example, just recently they gave us help in figuring out who we should get for a vendor for the shed, and they volunteered to help us put in a kickball field at Ravine Park. So, and then we talked to them about how they could use a safety person, a playground safety person for their playground on an annual basis. So clearly we're talking back and forth. There's nothing that keeps us from talking, but we don't have jurisdiction there. I think it's Harrison ground.
Okay. That's what I figured. I left it out, but I wanted to ask. So I'll email you guys a copy before I get these printed and out to the sign in the city building.
That's great. Well done. Okay, we've got. All right, so here would be the potential posting of the 5-year plan along with an executive summary and a list of board projects. This would take the form of a motion, but I'm wondering if it makes sense, it seems, that the public would be able to go and see here's what our 5-year plan looks like, here's what our current lists look like, here's a quick summary. You don't have to read the whole plan if you don't want. Here's a quick summary of what that plan tells you and what the surveys told us. And so they could get at that and get a pulse right away of what it is that we're doing. We don't have that there, and I felt before we did that would need to be something the whole board would be supportive of, that kind of communication. So that'll come up in a motion in a little while where we'll discuss it further. Okay. All right, so Eli brought up the idea of name that playground competition for the new complex at the Ray's Garden. So I don't know, Eli and Casey, how you guys might envision that happening on our webpage. But I kind of have it in my mind that a whole lot of things might come together in a hurry. Ribbon cuttings for various things all around Heritage Day. So if we could, think of it that way and get
What-
things in that way.
What are the exact dates of Heritage Day? Do you know?
18th, 19th, and 20th.
Of September.
Yes, it's always the third weekend in September.
18th, 19th, and 20th.
Yes. Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, and important, because it's like we're trying we've got so many things that could be happening for us. And if we could make it happen for that, that would be, just remarkable. And then to make ribbon cutting to go with it, to just have everybody celebrate that. I think one of the things that I feel excited, I feel the board's excitement is that things are coalescing. Various things are coalescing that people have been working on for years. And to celebrate that is only a good thing.
Right.
I agree.
So you think maybe we just come up with 3 names and then do a Facebook poll? Or
I think that we should open it up and let people
Submit names?
Submit names.
okay.
And then we take a poll on it.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how you guys,
I like it.
there's probably going to be a lot of names, but honestly, I think that's the most fair way to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
As long as we don't pick one name with 2 votes. Okay, it all sounds good. How quickly can that get
I
launched?
mean, that can get posted tonight.
Whoa, that's music.
Just gonna post
Yeah,
it on
I mean, post
Facebook,
it
or
to-
you're gonna do it?
I'm just
or
gonna do
to
it on-
school? Oh,
Through Facebook, and then we could post like coming up with names tonight. Tomorrow, we give it a week, let people kind of see it, let it surf it, go around.
Yeah.
And then they make the poll.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we got it. Recruitment. Kelly, reaching out to people who are needing community service hours. Tell us a little bit about that, what you've been up to.
I'm still working on it, but I have a guy who's been working who has like 100 hours to give. So that'll help out a lot. And he's a maintenance man at where I work. So
The
You
guys
know.
you reported to me is a star,
yeah,
absolute star.
yeah, he knows how to do everything.
Yeah.
He's a good friend of mine. So yeah, I'm still working on all that. I have to make some more phone calls and, people haven't called me back. So I'm going to bug them a little bit. So, but
So coordinating with Ellen as far as making sure that now people are getting sent to a page. Do we have a way for people to sign up and all that? Is
Yeah,
that
so
all?
it's called signup.com, and I have a link that I can share with
Okay.
you. And it's what I shared with you, Jerry. I don't know if you tested out and clicked on it, but there's also the QR code. So if they're sent that link or the QR code, they can just scan it and it directs them directly to the sign up sheet, and it lists various dates that we need volunteer work and what we're needing done.
Great. Now, is there anything where we can say Friday and Saturday, like work sessions?
Yeah, so let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So right now, how I set it up is really good service. I have ones for this coming Friday, Saturday. So I just have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and if they go to that date, they can just hit sign up and what time they want to sign up for.
Okay. Can you form that down so that on Friday these would be the regular sessions, so I can depend on them. It would be Friday would be 5 to 8.
Let me write this down. Okay.
And Saturday would be 9 to 12, 1
Okay.
to 4, 5 to 8. That way I kind of know what massive body I'm going to have and how many tools and equipment I need to have ready. And I don't
Right.
have people kind of dropping in or dropping out. I've got nothing for them to do or I don't have the tools.
Right.
So I really do want to have folks according to work sessions.
Yes.
We won't typically work on Sunday.
Okay.
And then it's possible I might have special things on Monday. Set up a special work day on Mondays. Okay, very much appreciate that.
thank
Now,
you.
another thing would be a thank you page for donors and for volunteers. So that's Kelly, Ellen, and Casey, I think. can you guys talk about that? We've got various folks that you've sent out thank yous, but I'd like to have them on a honor roll of some sort, so people
Do you want
can
that
see
to be on our social media?
Where do you think it should go?
That's where I personally think it should go, since that's where the majority of our people see things. Although I just sent out I went old school and handwritten my card. I did the handwritten
Yeah.
cards. And actually I had 2 of the churches say how much they appreciated
The
that,
handwritten,
that it was handwritten, and I had all the counselors sign it and that kind of thing. So do you think that's something that we should do here too, handwrite them? Because sometimes people really appreciate that.
Well,
It's more personable.
they're definitely
It
more
is.
personal. I
We
also
could do
like
both,
the
I
idea
think.
that the whole community gets to see how many more and more people are getting involved.
So maybe we do both.
It's
I think both
possible,
is better.
it's possible, but for sure, I like the idea that people feel personally attended to, and I also like to have this public recognition. And even if you put it in one location, can't we cross-link?
Oh, yeah.
So put up a little thing with a cross-link so you
Mhm.
pop over to where the most traffic will be where it's posted, but the other one should be on our webpage to pop over.
Okay.
All right, and the sooner the better. There are various donors and volunteers I'm aware of. I should start making lists so I can provide them to you. Let me know when you need them, and Monday, I should have some time, a week from now, Monday. I should have some time to make up a list of folks.
Park Program has their own social media page, and they thanked all of our donors and the ones who provided snacks and lunch and everything. Should I also post that on our page? do you think?
Yeah, I think we should link.
Okay.
Yeah, that, I'd like to know there's one place you go on our park homepage that says, here's links.
Okay.
And then where you think it's most likely to be seen, put that
Put it
there.
there. Okay.
Is the park program already linked to our page? It should be.
I mean, we share a lot of their stuff, but we're not linked. It's 2
Okay.
different pages. I'm on both pages as the admin, so I have control with each page, but they're not linked together. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like something that a person that is coming to Attica, and park board is one of the first things that pops, park and recreation. And then they see things listed. And so that would include summer park program. Click.
Yeah, summer park program is part of park board, so that's why I think they should be linked.
Yeah. I think
Because
anything.
they don't
yeah.
exist without us, so.
How do I do that? How do I link that?
Do you know how
I
to do that?
wonder, you know how there's, if you can click on about the page. I wonder if there's a spot where we can link the park program page, Facebook page.
In the about section?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a little outside my wheelhouse.
I can look
I've never
into-
done that part before.
I
but-
don't know if it can be done, but I feel like we should be able to add like,
Events
Yeah,
or-
because when you
Yeah.
search on the web and you go to a website, and then there'll be a link and you
Yeah.
click it and it goes there and it's going to some related something, right? So
Yeah.
there's clearly a way, but I don't.
Sometimes they say about or events. or
Whoever does
whatever.
our webpage, the outfit that helps do our webpage, Joanne would know that, and you could contact that person
That's a good idea.
for advice. That's the same place that someday we're gonna do a digital trail through town, okay?
Jerry,
So-
there would be a really easy way to link them. In the about section where you put the information, if you go to the Attica Park page and click on and save your link, copy the link, take it over to the park page and put it in the about thing. And that way, when they read the about, they can click on it and it takes you automatically to
the park program
the park,
page.
the park page, yeah. Or vice versa.
So then you just put
You just copy the link and put it over on the other one,
Yeah,
and it takes you right to it.
that's easy.
Well, I can probably do that with your QR code there. Then.
Yeah, and I made a flyer that I can post it. I have access to the Facebook page as well that I'm gonna pass around, or I can send to you, Jerry. That I can make a
Oh,
poster so they
very
can just
nice.
scan that code
Yeah.
and it will send them to that signup.com
Did you
page.
design that?
It's AI. I just put in what I wanted and then it does it and then I edit like information and pictures, but you know, that
I can't lie, it was AI.
It was AI.
Honestly, it does help so much.
it really does.
It looks-
And it makes
sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
it makes
Looks
sense.
really professional. Well done, folks. Tearing right along. Kelly contacted me, and so Kelly, goes under the header, establishing our presence in the community. When we're out there, are we reminding the community that the park board's out there? Okay, so Kelly, what were you thinking about?
I was thinking about t-shirts, and I don't have a problem paying for mine if I have to, or you know, but I mean we want to be seen and heard, and we're out there, and it's advertisement too. So
Now,
I
there's a park board logo, park and recreation
Mhm.
logo. So we have our logo already designed.
Mhm.
And that, what are folks thinking along those lines? Like just a little something here or something that's massive, or what are we
I was
talking about?
thinking just a
The logo.
logo.
The
Mhm.
logo,
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So are you talking about this logo, Jerry?
yep, that one.
Okay.
Yeah, did you guys all see that?
What's our Facebook photo?
Mm.
Okay, and that's going on signs and everything we put out, so that'll be a recognizable brand.
You can put a president on the back of yours.
I'm getting to the point where I think I might put park superintendent.
Question on the t-shirts, if you sell those, that would help to put more money into
Yep.
your accounts.
Oh,
I was gonna get to that, but
Yeah.
Those.
Sorry.
it's okay.
It's actually on
Yeah, we don't buy them, but yeah.
That reminded me, are we as a park board allowed to set up like a donation page, like Zephy?
By statute, we are allowed to accept donations, so
Okay.
I don't know why we couldn't set up a
Because
donation
why I was
page.
making the signup.com, I then looked into the donations on Zephy and I wanted to get permission for. I can create that too and then have a QR code that we can post that for donations. And one park that I visited when we traveled down to North Carolina, we stopped along parks along the way. And one of the bathrooms that we stopped in had a little sign on the mirror of where to donate to that park with a QR code. So I thought it would be nice if we could have a QR code with asking for donations like in the bathrooms or just like random spots.
Or up at the park.
Exactly. Just
There you go.
around.
Okay, I'm writing it down as we speak. Another motion. All right.
You could sell shirts at Heritage Days if you get them printed quick enough.
I know.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
You could do
Another thing-
embroidered ones if you want to too.
Oh, what?
You could do the embroidery ones too if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, to where it's really fancy.
Yeah, I think it's $30 to set it up and then after that it's
With
nothing.
who?
With Wild Graphics,
Wild
because we did it for pickleball, we set them up.
Okay. So the setup is
$30.
30 and then it's a
Yes,
church.
You can post that on the page too. Not just in the parks.
Like the Facebook
Yeah.
page. Yeah.
Link it
Yes.
or pin it.
So it'd be 30 and then let's suppose it was $25 a shirt, I suppose. Yeah,
You want a nice shirt, yeah.
6 and let's
When you're buying it for something like the parks, where your kids and grandkids are buying, you're willing to pay.
Right.
So that'd be roughly $200. I think we could probably tolerate that. We'll see. It'll be a motion in a minute. Another thing I'd like to propose is magnetic signs for vehicles.
Yes.
My old clunker is all over the place all the time. And I was thinking,
I think you need one that says superintendent, park superintendent, whatever, but.
On your truck.
should probably, I was thinking at least that, magnetic signs for that truck, that I can take off when I'm on private. But if other people are interested in that for their vehicle when they're
I
doing
am.
park work, right? So, how many, this is entirely optional, but how many people have an interest in having a magnetic sign for their vehicle? Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come on,
I
Eli.
don't mind. I guess.
I'm okay.
You didn't want to be the only one.
That's true.
Okay.
I put one on
Now,
your
Nancy, you are doing work all the darn time.
I know, but I don't want a magnetic sign on my vehicle. I'm sorry. They know what I'm doing. Denise come by and said, "You live at the park?" Yeah, part of the time.
So you just wear your sweaty shirt. How about that?
Yeah, just wear my sweaty shirt. That's good enough if I just wear my sweaty shirt.
That'll work. Okay, so that too will be in Running fast. Okay, we're on to new business. It's time for proposals. Now, the money proposals will take one by one. But there's various proposals, as have been in the past, that honestly could be put together. And then it's a matter, if a board member, any one board member wants to talk about one in particular, then it stands out, right? Otherwise, they'll be put together for efficiency, okay? All right, so the first one, the proposal is to order the floating dock project, which is to be funded directly by the Blue Wave grant in its entirety, per quote submitted by Maffioli Dock LLC. Dock is to have wheels for install and removal, but will not have the yearly fee for other company to install and remove. The target date for installation is requested for prior to Heritage Days. Do I have a motion for that proposal?
I make a motion.
Okay, that's Kelly. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and that's Ellen. Now, this alone is in the upwards of 78,000. And that's entirely Blue Wave.
That's great.
Okay, all those, any comments, questions?
So then are we responsible for the money to take it in, put it out, take it back out, whatever? And
The mayor and
maintenance
I
and all
talked
that?
about this, and at this point, it could well come out of our budget to pay that company to come do it, or it could be that if the city is so inclined, they could do it. The mayor's biggest concern was, well, what happens if it's a crisis? You know, if there's a fast rising flood. I double checked with Michelle. She said the other two floating docks haven't really envisioned what to do for that panic moment. What I'm thinking about, and Mayor, I haven't discussed this with you, but what occurred to me is we usually have reasonable notice that a heavy rain's coming and downstream, upstream, whichever stream, that it's going to hit us. And that's why I'm kind of hoping that that kind of reaction would not have to be a 2 a.m. reaction, but something that would be done at 5
In the morning?
in the afternoon. So the wheels, of course, allow us to pull it out. And once our city people see what's up, I think it's pretty straightforward. That was my impression from Michelle and from the guy that was going to install it.
Yeah.
Mayor, we've been talking, and I talked to Eric about this, about pulling it up to the sewage treatment plant. There's a big space right there with a double door that would open up. And I asked the contractor what he thought about it. He said that'd be a fine place to put it. And so we wouldn't be pulling that sucker all over the county, and it would be locked up, so it'd be safer. And it would be kind of appropriate, you know, be off and out of the way, but on city property. So that's what's being envisioned. Eric said he was going to be checking to be sure that the sewage folks didn't have any concern about that. So that's where we stand on that right now. So that's not an absolute firm, but it sure seems like a high probability. Okay. Any other questions? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It passes. The next proposal is to order a stone path to Wabash Overlook per quote from Andy Smart. This will be 5 feet wide, 4 inches deep. It'll be cut into the ground so it looks like a nice finished path. And they'll be using a type of gravel that compacts so it becomes over time kind of smooth. You know, it doesn't feel like you're rolling over gravel. So he said that makes it good for.
You're talking about the path, like from the street back to there?
It'll go from the street all the
Okay.
way to the Wabash
Okay.
Overlook. Okay, any questions? And trying to think what that quote came in at. Like about, what was it, Eli? About
3,000?
3,000, somewhere in that range. But that's paid in its entirety by the Community Foundation.
3,725.
3,745.
Yes, the Blue Waves paying for that.
Blue Waste paying?
Yes.
Okay. All those, any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion.
That's Ellen. And a second? And that's Casey. All those in favor, or any concerns, questions, discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The next proposal is to refurbish the Wabash Overlook per quote submitted by George French to be fully funded by the Blue Way grant. Eli, would you like to comment on that grant?
Yeah, my grandpa is here if you want to ask me any questions.
Is it?
Oh, that's your grandpa.
Okay.
Oh, okay, George.
But
Now I
this-
can put a face to it.
I'll probably have to recuse myself from this vote, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
But fully funded by Blue Way
Hmm.
for new capstones on the thing, on the columns, redo the columns or patch them up, refurbish the wood. And I think that was all right.
Yeah, and clear out.
Yeah, clear out.
Yeah, clear.
Things.
Say,
that
George,
include
do you have
stones?
any
Isn't that what I
idea,
saw?
you know, they
Maybe
would
smart.
knock those tops
well,
off.
that's okay.
That-
I know.
And do you have any idea whether those can be
I
made
was thinking
more?
about putting like the angles underneath.
Yeah.
You don't want to attach them like that.
Yeah.
You know, probably do 3. It might be hard to do it on the outside, but if I can clear out everything and get around to the outside, I can put them on all 4 sides, just little angle, something like that.
So it'll attach it to the
So it'll
stone.
attach to it,
Yeah.
and stay there, along with the mortar that's gonna be holding it on. But yeah, I noticed that there was one cap just laying.
Yeah, there's actually 3
Is there?
nearby. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so any questions about that? Do we have a motion at this point? I don't recall.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, there we go. That's Casey in a second.
I'll second.
All right, and that's Ellen. And Eli is recusing himself since his grandpa is who would be doing the work and has submitted the quote. Okay, all those in favor of accepting that quote, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes.
Thank you, Eli and George, for all of your work on that.
Yes.
That really is amazing. So thank you both.
You know what? It's been 2, 3, 4 months since I even knew this thing existed. And someone called in and told us about it. And so it's terrific to see this come together and a treasure be
I've been
rediscovered.
checking that place out for the last 4 or 5 years and having a vision, and now it's coming.
George,
Gotta feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Gotta feel
did it feel
good.
good? Okay.
Actually, one of the things that I saw down there that I would like to see us to do is, you know where the guy wire comes down from the pole? There's a bunch of weeds in there. I'd
Right?
like to see us put flowers in there. I mean, if we could,
Some things like that.
it would help. It would just make the area look really nice, I
Well,
think.
it's gonna be
But
all cleared out, a lot of it's will be cleared out,
yeah,
and even going down to the side.
it was
You know,
once, but it's all grow back with weeds again.
My main concern about the whole thing is that outside where you can look up and all that, big giant, sandstone is just deteriorating now. Eventually, we're gonna have to address that, and I don't know what to do with it yet. But it'd have to be something like a concrete wall or something.
Oops.
You know, I mean, those big stones, but a lot of them are deteriorated out. And every time a flood comes through, more gets deteriorated. So, but anyway. that's
For
later
the
on
future, right?
project, yes.
Thanks for pointing that out, George.
Nancy with her flowers. Always coming in from landscaper Nancy.
I know, but I look back there when I go by all the time and I think, you know, there's those weeds growing there and there's not really much you can do about that, except I think it would be neat to have flowers back there.
No, I love it. You always bring in the
I
flowers.
like flowers. I
No,
love flowers.
Yeah, he might be your man for flowers.
See, I
too.
love flowers
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Nancy's our organic manager.
Great.
All right, the next, Blue Way told us that we had talked to them about something that Scott Gregory had raised to us, and that there was a stairway going down to a platform.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a fisherman's deck. And so we talked this over with Michelle, and she said they were open to getting a quote, and we'll see. One of the things I'm also aware of is the potential that there's going to be significant riverbank management, the potential for that. And so we may be getting the cart ahead of the horse by putting those in and then them not being able to stay there, depending on how that riverbank gets fixed. So But I still think it's worth having a quote, just so we have an idea. That's, if you guys are in agreement with that, then we need it first and a second.
Trying to figure out where you're talking.
So when you go down the road of Wabachi, and you go right down that road, and you would drive right into the river,
Okay,
that's
With it.
where it is.
where the launch is. Okay, I see what you're
It's,
saying.
it's probably, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet
So the floating dock would be,
from the launch, the other way than the floating dock.
okay, all right.
Okay, all those, do I have a first?
You have a motion, okay.
Did you say Blue Way was gonna fund that as well?
Blue Way was interested in it, they didn't promise anything.
We're open to seeing what we'll do.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're very welcome.
Would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kim Eaton,
I think she might
and
have
I'm
said this
actually employed by the Western Indiana Community Foundation, Attica Community Foundation. And I work with Michelle on the Fountain County and Vermilion County side of the Blue Way. She just helps a lot with Attica because she's closer here, and I'm doing a lot of work in Vermilion County on the Blue Way. So it's a tri-county grant, the Blue Way is, so we're doing Vermilion County, Fountain County, and Warren County. So we're setting up, floating docks and other enhancements in the tri-county area. So I'm in the loop. I know all these things that are happening. So yeah, we are open to see how much it would cost to either connect the existing steps that are there or how much it would cost to have new steps.
Okay, and we appreciate your interest. This whole thing is just, it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, so do we have a motion and a second?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, that's Eli, and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, and that's Ellen. I'd be willing to reach out and get Andy to take a look at it. Okay. The next is to obtain a quote to stabilize the bed near the water leak and install a gravel path wide enough and deep enough for a bobcat to remove silt and debris after floods. The trail is approximately 1,000 feet and stretches from the end of the paved trail down on the riverbank near the Wabash Overlook to an intersection with the road in the Wabachi Park. So that's the proposal. Do I have a motion and a second, and we can discuss further?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Kelly. And a second? All right, and that's Casey. So in talking to Andy Smart, so where that leak was, it's just really, really muddy. It's the kind of thing you step in and you suck up to your ankles. So if you're gonna put anything down, you've got to have a stabilized bed to put anything down on that. Talking to the mayor, he said, I know this is gonna flood, and when it floods, you're gonna have debris and you're gonna have dirt all over that trail, so how are you gonna clean that up? Point taken. So then I talked to Andy, I said, well, what do you think about this, as far as what can we do for a bobcat? He says, well, you could put a bobcat on there, but you're gonna have to have a structure to support having a bobcat on there. And that's about a 7-foot wide scoop, 6 foot plus for the treads. So you're looking at about a 7-foot wide trail. So I said, well, I can't authorize anything. I'm just asking what you think. But if the board goes for it, then can you give us a quote? He said, yeah. So that's the background there. That too is not something that the Blue Way is promising, but is interested in hearing about. So we've got a motion, a second. Any further conversation, discussion, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It passes.
So that won't go into effect like out of our budget money
No.
until the next meeting, like if we have quotes? or-
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're just saying to look into it.
To look
Okay.
into. Yeah. As you know, and as we would do, if there's an enabling motion that says, look, you can go ahead and do this, we do that. But if there's no enabling motion, then we have to we can look into it as part of a bigger package, but it has to come to the board to say, okay, now you can get the quote. Okay. All right, obtain a quote to install culverts at the 2 washouts along the trail to Wabachi Park from the Wabash Overlook to repair the railings on the bridge. So there's a bridge there that's missing about 14 2x4 by 8 foot railing material. And that would have to be repaired, but otherwise the bridge looks pretty structurally good. On top of that, then, there are 2 washouts where you'd have to put probably a big plastic culvert or something like that, so that people don't have to hop over. And if you put a little bridge, maybe it floats away, so just a culvert. So we're in good shape that way. So could we have a motion and a second if you would like this to be discussed further and considered?
Is the culvert something that the flood wouldn't wash away, or what?
Well, I would ask that to be clear with the person that's installing, but that culvert's supposed to be set down, the silt gets under it and kind of holds it as a part, and then there's over top. So I agree with you. You'd want to know it's stable.
I'll make a motion.
Eli, in a second,
I'll second.
Ellen, all those in favor of obtaining a quote to install the culverts and to repair the railings signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That passes. Okay, the next is a proposal to approve the refurbished epoxy on the floor. It's going to be all new air dryer and feminine hygiene box, and what's one other thing? Oh, something else. Dispenser. Then the walls were going to be faced with kind of PVC material, so it's easy to clean. I'm not sure how durable to actual. Someone takes a knife to it, but other than that,
Let's not say that on the live, don't give them any ideas.
and reasonably, yeah, look it up on the internet, right?
Mhm.
And reasonably easy to use to clean off paint. So it'll also be to embed all the electricity, so it's not on the walls. And it'll put in brand new metal doors and new metal casements so that it can be more secure. So the hang up, as I mentioned to you, is that a citizen offered to the mayor this unit. And I sent you a picture. You can look and you can see it. But it's a unit where the wash basin and the toilet are all in one unit, and they're all stainless steel. So the wash basin can't be approached by a wheelchair the way it's positioned. Now, you could argue that you could put in, and how he would say it could be made ADA compliant, and then I can submit that to you. Otherwise, what he would quote for putting in regular plumbing. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
All right, so that's tabled, and I'll look into those changes. All right, the next proposal is to authorize removal of dead wood from the tree at Circle Park and clean up per quote by Everly Tree Service not to exceed $750. Well, not $850. His quote is $750, but you're never quite sure. So not to exceed $850. Can I have a motion and a second?
This is the same tree you were talking about last year, we talked about.
No, that one,
This is a whole
that was a
different tree.
monster. That was like, and the city
Okay.
got that. It
This
was
is a whole different tree.
$2,500 or $3,000 for that one.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
All right, that's Casey. And a second.
I'll second.
This one is a tricky tree. You know, it's the deadwood's all over the place. And so I wanted to be sure someone who does tree removal a lot would be doing this instead of like asking the city to do it. So that's why I thought it made sense to get somebody that was bonded and experienced with that. That's why I didn't turn to the city. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay. Proposal, authorize using donation of $600 from Attica Rotary, bless their hearts, to purchase 10 beautification signs for trails and parks from Wild Graphics. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
That's Casey, and a second
Second.
is Ellen. Okay, so they're willing to do that. I sent you a picture so you can see what it looks like. It'll have a Rotary seal on it, and it will be explaining to anyone who looks, here's how long a cigarette butt lasts, here's how long a can lasts, here's how long a pop bottle lasts, here's how long a plastic bag lasts. And it's really stunning how many years we're talking about this. So that,
Almost everybody's on Facebook all the time.
okay.
When you open up your phone, that's the first thing people click on.
So do Facebook and then have it linked so that it's very clear, like it should be I'm thinking it'd be the sort of thing that when you turn to the park board webpage, right there is, here's your plan, here's your executive summary, here's the project list. So that
So
anybody,
almost like pinned at the top.
way at the top. So it's one of the first things that catches people's eyes. They know what the board's doing.
Now, if that is in our Google Drive and people click on it, they're not gonna have access to it because they're not part of
Yeah,
our
that
Google
wouldn't
Drive. So I don't know how, do we export that into like a PDF?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would think we just need to download
Just
it and
Download
then,
it into a
and then
PDF
upload it.
and then upload it onto Facebook as a
Mhm.
pinned, and they can click on that from there.
Okay. Now, I sent you an executive summary as one of the attachments to our thingy, so you can be able to pull it off of that. And the 5-year plan is, as you say, in our
In our
Google.
Google Drive.
So
Just take off draft at the
Draft.
top.
don't change anything else. It all stands. That was just various things we needed to do for,
And the executive summary is in our email.
okay. Any further comments or thoughts? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay. The next proposal is to approach State Representative Tim Yocum, and I think I spelled his last name wrong.
Not sure.
Is it right? Okay. To Tim Yocum to learn of the Duke contact person who may help with park board project funding. Apparently there was someone he had talked to. I think Scott Gregory made the comment that he and Tim had talked, and there was sympathy for working on park board projects, particularly on the river.
Cindy Mason was getting something from Duke, so isn't it the same
Yeah.
thing?
That she's getting a grant from Duke that would go toward,
But she
A
would have a
bridge.
contact person, Wouldn't
she would. Well, he may have someone else
Okay.
too.
and say she might have a contact person you could go
Yeah,
through.
I'm sure she does. In fact, she's mentioned someone by
Okay.
name.
Okay.
But this may be even, sometimes knowing two people is a good thing.
It's true.
All right. This would allow us to see what Duke's interests are in terms of our park board projects, seeing as we've fully funded pretty much everything we were going to fund on the river itself. So they may be saying, oh yeah, we'll shift it this direction, or it could be that would help out with the trail, or it could help out with something else. So just knowing whether they're interested. Okay. Do we have I don't know that I got a first and a second on that.
You don't.
I didn't. Okay.
I'll make a motion.
That's Eli in a second.
I'll second.
Okay, that's Casey. Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Just a quickie, Eli, are you willing to do this?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay. And so we're still kind of keeping it in your bailiwick that we're doing the DNR stuff, we're doing the Tim Yocum stuff. We just keep on sort of keeping one person ramrodding.
Yep.
Okay. All right, approach Duke for funding the park projects. So first of all, what were we going to talk to Tim? Second now is approach Duke for funding for park projects and permission to mount security lights on poles at the floating dock and Wabash Overlook. Both places has poles. And so if we could put security lights on the Duke poles, if we could, then we don't have to be putting up those poles at least. So that would be the other reason to be talking to Duke. All right, do I have a motion?
I make a motion for that.
All right, that
I'll
would be
second it.
Casey and Kelly. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Passes. Eli, if you want to put that on.
I got it.
Okay, thanks, Eli.
Johnny, is there by any chance that you have lights?
Yeah, I have poles and lights, yeah.
I think pickleball was real interested in that. Are you
But
still?
he
in-
had several, more than what we needed. Unless I knew he had, you have more than what they need, don't you?
Well, I haven't decided what I'm gonna keep out of them.
Okay.
To go from there. I am evaluating, there's a couple of other projects. I think there's one out at Happy Walter Park, and that's for a basketball court. I think they're thinking about putting it out there. And then I did talk to Eli a little today about, new lights down in for the boat docks.
Yeah,
And
that's-
so there's lots of opportunities, probably not enough poles to go around.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, at this point,
Well, this was the docs he was talking about, yeah.
there'll be another proposal coming that's talking about poles too, but where there's existing poles, so just so we don't have to do the installation or anything else.
I think that's the best idea, to use the things that are already there.
Okay, so did we vote on that one?
Yes.
Yes, okay, on to the next. Authorize that a board member coordinate with the city to inspect and acquire up to 5 light poles for locations at Wabachi, the Overlook, and the storage shed. We have a donor of some light poles that have been recycled from another site. And so they're 20 to 25 foot light poles, so they would be adequate as security lights in all those locations. So that's the background on it. And it would be a matter of having Eric and a board member go and take a look and say, are these up to snuff to use?
Good.
All right. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
All right, that's Casey. And
I'll
anyone
second.
second? Ellen? All right, any further discussion? I'd be willing to be that board member if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. All right, design one or more ribbon cutting ceremonies for park improvements to coincide with or precede Heritage Days. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion for that.
Casey and
I'll second it.
Kelly. So discussion and volunteers. So anybody interested in taking this on?
I have the yellow ribbon.
Okay.
He's got the scissors. Oh, yeah. And Larry's got the scissors,
Okay.
the big old scissors.
I'm willing to make sure that I get it out there on Facebook. That would-
Yeah.
So could we have a Nancy and Casey collaboration on this? You guys
Yeah, I
want-
don't have a problem with that.
Okay, there we go.
I'll work with Lance.
Nancy Casey. So good.
Should we get hard hats and shovels too?
Okay, I've got a few hard hats. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Okay, the next proposal is to offer our support for measures to manage soil erosion prevention and create access on the Wabash Riverbank. As is noted in our 5-year plan, we foresaw the need for soil erosion management, but we didn't have any idea of who would have that expertise beyond the DNR. That would be our starting point, and we didn't have any funding. So around a year after that plan, Mr. Johnny Smith approached us about the potential for DNR grants, and has subsequently gotten a grant that is a grant to look into a feasibility study for what might be done on the river. I think as a board, what I'm proposing is that we offer our support and expertise for that process. Do I have a motion or a second
Or a feasibility study.
for
Really.
for all aspects, whether feasibility study and if there's subsequently a grant that comes out of that? Motion,
I'll make a motion.
that's Kelly. A second,
I'll second it.
Eli. Any
This is something
comments?
that we're paying for? You
No.
said no, this is
No.
paid for fully by the grant.
The feasibility study is a grant, and then there's a contribution that's requested toward that grant. That's what came up in the city council meeting. And that's not currently, no one's turning to the park board for that. We've not made any commitments to that. On the other hand, we have, with this, we're committing to do support, whatever support means. We have to start thinking what that means, and how we would do that. Okay. So it could include that would be asked can we help with funding? It could include, can we help with loaning a grant writer? It could include any number of connections with the different liaisons we have on the board, talking to your organizations and so on. Okay. Because with any feasibility study, usually there needs to be demonstrated support in the community. So these are things that we could help with. That sounds straight? Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay, the proposal is to authorize 1 to 2 board members to participate in the grant writing workshop to which Rec Inc. has invited us. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Eli, and a second?
Go ahead.
Okay, we've got Casey. Any, I mentioned this earlier, it's just an opportunity for us to get training, advanced training, usually costs money that we won't have to pay a penny for. So, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Now, at this point, Eli and I have both volunteered. Is there anybody else who would prefer?
I'm gonna go to it, but I would be Attica, whatever, I mean,
Yeah, you're on how
That's for
many
them.
boards?
You're on all
Sorry.
of them.
Sorry.
It's our park board liaison to X number of boards,
I mean, that's half our board going right there.
Yeah.
You three going.
That's good.
which should
Yeah,
help,
that's
right?
good, yeah.
Okay. All right. Did we vote?
No.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay, and that's with Jerry and Eli. Promoting park board identity through shirt and/or magnetic vehicle signs. Okay, although I need a motion and a second.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, that's Casey
I'll second.
and Ellen. Let's kind of flesh this one out then. Are we talking about 1 shirt per person?
Mhm.
And
Make sure we get a magnetic sign for Nancy.
I'll vote on half of this, okay.
okay, you put it on one side of your conversation. Okay. All right, so then in terms of and then in terms of magnetic signs, honestly, how many people actually would put a magnetic
would.
sign?
I
on
would.
their
I'll do it.
car?
I'll do it.
I would do it.
I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah.
You
When I
would too?
work down there and stuff, I put it on my truck.
Okay, so maybe we get about,
He can use mine half the time.
yeah, okay, you guys. All right,
can
so
be
we're gonna
working when
go
you're
1
not
shirt
anyway.
per and 1 sign per. Sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Okay.
I plan to reach out, I'm getting other stuff from Wall Graphics. Any objection to getting a quote from him? Okay, okay. All right, the next proposal is to formally request the city clerk treasurer to initiate an appropriation process to take money from the park cash fund to pay for the safety mulch project that is estimated to be between $65,000 and $80,000, final figure to be arrived at within the next 2 months. Why that figure is loose is one, there's the price has changed from the quote. 2, we're gonna probably use more mulch and less plastic timbers, because instead of having little pods the way it was originally designed, we're now having big pods, which look a whole lot more aesthetic, but also kids aren't tripping, jumping from one pod to the next pod. They've got, a straight
Yeah.
entrance and exit. So again, for safety's sakes, it means we're gonna be spending more on mulch, but they did assure me that we can get a refund on the timbers. We will probably, transportation will be an issue, but we'll get a refund on the timbers. So that's gonna cut down and the mulch is gonna raise up, so I don't know what we're gonna actually cost.
It's
But
worth it for the
So
city.
this
I
is
feel like.
2 parks that we're covering, right?
we're covering every park in the city
So it's gonna cover McDonald Park too?
and McDonald Park
Okay.
too.
Right.
So what we've done is we've taken those 2 play sets and we've moved them. The little one, which was the kindergartner one, went up to the raised beds. And so those are all little kid stuff. That will be a completely little kid
It's
play
nice. I
set.
went up there. It looks very nice.
It does. It looks
Very
good,
nice.
doesn't it?
Very
The
nice.
guys that installed did a great job.
Yes,
very
they
helpful.
did. The walkways.
In addition, the school gave us 2 picnic tables and a bench. So the picnic tables and bench will go into Circle Park. So they will now have picnic tables and a bench to be able to watch their kids. And then there's a swing set that the school also gave us that we have yet to cut down. And then we will move that over to McDonald Park. Because the swing set that's concurrently in McDonald Park is inappropriately placed. It's too close to other pieces of equipment, so it wouldn't pass inspection. So that'll get cut down, and the other one will get installed over where the other swing set is. So that's what still has to happen in the next month or so,
Before the mulch comes in.
before the mulch comes in, yeah. He sighs. So that's what's ahead of us, okay? So Joanne says it's about a 2-month process to go through the appropriation process. So I'm looking for a first and a second on that.
I will be first.
Casey,
I'll second.
and that's Ellen, was it?
Yep.
Okay. All right, any other thoughts, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. It passes. All right, now there's some additional proposals that we just added in. The proposal is to create an adopt-a-spot at the Wabachi, the Ravine, and the McDonald Parks, where organizations or individuals would be given an opportunity to take care of a portion of the landscaping for the city and the parks. Do I have a first on that motion?
I motion.
All right, that's Ellen, and a second,
I'll second.
that's Casey. Okay,
So would we need to make up what they would be expected of, by doing that? Are they
Yeah.
expected to buy the flowers? Are they expected just to
kind of a job
maintain it
description.
if we give them the stuff to do? Or do we need
So-
to have it different?
May I default to your judgment on this, that you would put together what you think is the very best way to approach this and present it next month?
Sure.
Okay, everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so the proposal is to create this, we're already behind it, and then we're looking at Nancy to flesh it out. All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
and all those opposed, same sign. It passes. Okay, the next is the tennis court. Now, since that bid is good for 120 days and the other one's good for 90 days, and we're needing to look at our budget further, what if we table that one?
Yeah.
Okay, who would like to make a motion to table accepting the tennis court bids?
I'll motion.
That's Ellen. Ellen to table, and who would second?
I'll second.
Eli. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed, same sign. It passes. Okay, the next proposal is to create a donation page, a specific donation page with the QR codes also being distributed to park locations, pamphlets, and so on.
I make a motion.
Okay, that would be Casey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
That's Ellen. And I wonder if we could make that a joint project of Ellen and Casey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Passes. Okay, there are 2 more motions. These motions I will recuse myself after I give you background information. And Casey, would you run the meeting? Okay. So both of these motions are submitted by Sarah Mattern as a representative of the Attica School cross-country sport. In the first motion, what she's asking, we'd actually given permission to this many months ago to put a sign up. And now she's asking for formal permission not to paint a sign, which she was not supposed to do, but to have a sign that could be attached and removed. That'll be gone through Wild Graphics. I've seen it. It has a big Attica A, and it has cross country, and it's a red and white and looks everything like you'd expect it to look. And it's going to be paid for by athletic supporters, some community other, not the park board. And so that's the first one, plus permission for her cross-country athletes to paint the posts of that pavilion. This is the pavilion that when you first go into Ravine, right where the welcome sign is, that pavilion.
Okay.
So all of the pavilions are eventually getting painted the same color as the big pavilion is. And then the posts will be painted white like the big pavilion is. And what she's proposing is her cross-country kids would do the painting of the white posts. Okay, so that's one. The background on the second is that she's requesting a small portion of the new shed for storage. It would probably be equivalent to one of those big baskets, the bins about like that size, plus putting poles overhead on the rafters. Okay, so that's what she's proposing. Now I'm turning it over to you, and I'll recuse.
So for the first proposal of the cross-country kiddos helping paint the white posts and for the sign, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any needed discussion? I do have one question. So the sign is gonna be put up and taken down. Will that also need to go in the shed as well?
No, it'll stay there until.
It'll stay.
Yeah, it stays permanently.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. All those in favor? say
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay. The next proposal is for cross-country coach Sarah Mattern to use a small portion of the new shed at Ravine Park. Do we have a motion for that?
I'll motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
I think that's a great idea.
And that's already been approved by pickleball too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that it's awesome already that our school kiddos use the park and our trails and the cross-country team
Yeah.
utilizes all of that, so
Yeah, that's nice.
I'm definitely in favor of that. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Okay. Well, one and all, this is cause for great celebration.
Did Kim have anything to say? To go through? Did Kim have anything to say?
Kim, would you like to address, Nancy pointed out that as an esteemed guest, you might have something to say about Blue Water?
Well, not really. I'm just here in case questions arose regarding the Blue Way and or any community foundation questions. We're glad that we can help support the Bocce Park, and we have some money available to refresh some of the existing parks along the river through the Tri-County area that we have money for. So
It's
I'm just
exciting.
here just to answer any questions. I talked to Michelle, and we had discussed all the projects that you had put forth, and I was just here in case anything came up. So, and if you guys have any questions, just let me know. I have worked with Duke Energy, just to let you know, in the past in Vermillion County. I don't know if it'd be the same representative, so I have a different representative.
Okay.
So we have some groups, like the public library can't request money directly from Duke Energy, and Duke Energy wants to help support them, so they run the money through the community foundation. So we are open, if there's any type of hurdles that you have to go through, we are open to working with Duke Energy and you guys, if there's an issue and their grant funding that you may ask for, so.
Also, while you're here, I want to thank you for the 2 picnic tables you guys bought for us.
Yeah, those are coming. We're waiting on the
Okay.
delivery dates on those, so we'll be definitely letting you know. We have 2 cement. We put in a big order and for the parks along the Wabash River, where almost every park along the Wabash is getting at least 2 cement picnic tables. So we put in that order. We're just waiting for what the delivery date would be to let you guys know. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the Blue Wave money, what is the time period if that money is actually available for, for funding? Is it just 1 year or is it over a period of years?
We received a $3 million grant from Lilly Endowment to spend from last January for 5 years. So that it started, up until December 31st of 2029. So it's a 5-year grant period for us to spend the money. We do have categories that we have to address, like we have an education piece, we have an arts and culture piece, we have, the new and existing sites and things of that nature.
So can any of that money be used to actually provide a match for grants?
Unfortunately, no.
It can.
No, yeah. The money, basically the money has been spoken for, is in a way for specific projects. We just don't know what those projects are at each site, so.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because Mr. Mattern mentioned the shoreline stabilization feasibility study. Once we finish that in 2028, that's when the big money kicks in, where we can actually start, fixing the shoreline and doing other things. And I'm sure that that's going to require a match. And I was just kind of curious if maybe some of your funding could go towards that.
If, you would have to check with us to see what type of funding we have available at that point in time. But not counting out, the Blue Way has limited funding. I mean, the community foundation may be willing to partner too, maybe not do the total match, but, the community foundation's there also to, if you want to do a fundraising or something like that, we can help hold the money if you want to do fundraising efforts. So, yeah, we definitely work with you.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for your attendance today. It was a long meeting. And thank your families and especially your kids.
Today was the first day of school, so.
First day of school. All right. If there's no further business, then let's have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Casey,
I'll
and is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and Alan. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That's at 7:40.
7:40.
I can give it back.
So is it